Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Millie and today I have two blankets to share with you. One is a finished object, but I don't have it with me because I already sent it to the owner. But I had talked about it in a previous video as a WIP, but I finally finished it and I sent it before I could actually do a video on it. But I took some pictures and I'm going to link them up here so that you can see what it looks like. And this is the finished object that I wanted to share with you. I don't have it with me because I already delivered it to the owner. It's the crochet block stitch blanket and I got this pattern from Daisy Cottage Design, and I'm going to leave a link in the description if you're interested. I used 3 colors and this is what the finished product looks like, and the owner really likes it and I also really like it. It turned out really well. And now I'm going to show you what I am working on, and it's a knitted blanket which I'm really working hard to finish, but for some reason it's taking me forever. But I've also noticed that I actually crochet faster than I knit. So I'm thinking that if I need to finish a project quickly, if I need to finish a blanket quickly, then I think I'm going to crochet it. But with this one, I really had a yen for a knitted blanket. And so that is why I decided to knit instead of crochet. And I haven't knitted a blanket in so long. I think the last time I knitted a blanket was last winter or maybe the beginning of this year, but I was really craving a knitted blanket, and so that's why I decided to cast on this one. Plus I also discovered a new stitch, not discovered a stitch, but I have seen it before, but it has not really interested me that much before. But for some reason this time I really wanted to try out this stitch, and so that's why I decided to make this blanket and incorporate the stitch. And this is the blanket, and since it's a WIP, I'm going to be having all these yarns all over the place, but this is what it looks like. I don't know if I can fit it in the screen, but I'll try to show you as much as I can. And this is the stitch that I'm talking about, and this is the staghorn cable stitch, and I decided to test it out and incorporate it into my project, and I am loving the way it turned out. I thought it was going to be tedious, but it's not, because you cable on all the right side, and then so you know, in most cables you would cable and then you have like a few rows where you knit without cabling, but this one you're cabling every right side row. But it's not tedious or anything, it's just interesting, and I think it worked out really well on this specific project. And so this is not a pattern, it's just something that I made up because I wanted to try this cable stitch. So I have casted on 180 stitches using the knitted cast on, and then I did my math, and I'm going to leave all the information in the description if you are interested in learning more about this blanket. And then I divided it and decided where I was gonna have the cable. So initially when I thought about making this blanket, I was going to make it like a cabled blanket. The entire blanket was going to be cabled, but then I thought that was gonna take me forever to finish it. Plus I just decided not to do it keyboard, not to do the entire blanket in cables. And so I just did a little bit of math and I ended up with 3 cables. And initially I was going to add some textured pattern in these sections. As you can see, these are like large stockinette sections. And my plan initially was to do like a textured stitch here. But then I thought that was gonna take me forever as well. So what I did was I combined the staghorn cable and then I did the border in a double Morse stitch, and that is what it looks like. And I also did the border here at the bottom in the double Morse stitch, but for some reason it looks a little bit loose. It looks like the my gauge here doesn't match the gauge up here, but I'm using the same needle size. So I think what I'm gonna do once I'm done is I'm gonna frog from here and use smaller needles so that all my stitches can balance out nicely, because I don't know if blocking is gonna fix it, but I also think that it's because I have this cable here, and that is why this gauge looks a little off, because the cable tends to bunch up your stitches a little bit, and that could be the reason why it looks like that. But I like it, and I am almost done. I think I'm about to be done with it. That's the inside. This is the right side. So I think I'm almost done with it. And I am using 2 yarns held together. If I can get this situated. And so for the yarn, I am using a DK weight yarn and a worsted weight yarn held together. So this is the DK weight that I'm using. It's actually, I'm gonna get rid of the yarn and just show you the label, because the yarn is not sitting properly on there and I don't want it to unravel. So I'm using Caron Skinny Cakes. It's a DK weight. And the colorway is, I believe it's almond, vanilla almond, if I can find the name. I always have a hard time locating the name of the colorway. Okay, yeah, I was correct. The name is vanilla almond, and this is what it looks like. So it has a little bit of a white, and it's not like a bright white, it's like an antique white. And then there's a little bit of gray, a little bit of beige, and a little bit of like a light yellow, and it's neutral enough, and that is why I bought it, because when this yarn came out, I went to check it out, and since I didn't know what I was gonna make with it, I decided to buy a neutral color, because this color can work for baby blankets really nicely, and it's neutral enough to work for a boy or a girl. And so that is why I bought it. And this cake is 250 grams or 8.8 ounces. It's 100% acrylic, 795 yards or 727 meters. And this is the only colorway that I got, because I typically don't buy a lot of DK weight, because I'm one of those that want my knitting or my crochet to go faster, and I prefer to work with worsted weight. And so I only bought one, and initially I thought that one was gonna be enough for this blanket, but I ran out, and so I had to go back to Michael's to get the second cake. But I think I'll have a ton of a ton of it left because I'm almost done with this blanket. And for the white colorway, I don't think I have the label, but this is one of my other favorite yarns, and it's this one. So this is the yarn that I'm using in white, and this is the Red Hat Soft, and it's also another, it's a 4-weight yarn, and I've already used up a ball of this in this blanket. So this one, this big one comes in 513 yards or 471 meters, and it's 100% acrylic. This colorway I'm holding here, this is off-white, but I am using like a pure white. I don't have the label, so I don't remember exactly the name of it, but it's a pure white. And I wanted it to give a nice contrast to this one. And so that is why I chose the pure white, and it's working out really well because some of the sections have this nice mild look. The gray section, because it has like white and some gray, and it looks really nice. And I like how neutral the whole project looks. And this, the yellow section also looks really, really nice. So overall, I like it. And since this is my own made up project, I'm just kind of working it as I go. But I'm going to measure and see when I have enough length, then I'll cast off, and then I'll wash it and try to stretch it so that these cables can stud out nicely, and also so that I can get rid of all these bunching up here. And this staghorn cable is knitted over 16 stitches, so it's really, really wide. And I think I have seen it incorporated in hats, like where they will just do one cable. And I think it would also look good on a sweater for an adult, because this is a lot of stitches. I think if you're knitting with fingering weight and you add it to a baby garment, it might still work. But my thought is it would be a good stitch to add to an adult sweater, especially one of those cabled sweater. Like, I think it would really look good on the sleeve. But I was also thinking about, if I do it on the sleeve, usually the sleeves don't have 16 stitches in up here. So you might have to figure out how to add it gradually to where it blends in seamlessly, especially if you're doing raglan type sweaters. But anyway, that is what it looks like. I love it. And like I said, it's kind of a slow project because I was trying to knit as fast as I could, because I was thinking that I could have this finished in 2 weeks, but no, it's already been a month, and I think I have like the rest of this week to try and finish it. But also it's because it's become so big that I am not able to take it with me everywhere. So I'm at this point, I'm forced to just leave it at home and knit in the evening when I come home from work. But these knitting needles, I think these are US 10 or 11. I can't remember. I'm going to look up and see what size I'm using. It could be 10 or 11, and I don't have my needle gauge with me to measure. And these are Addies, so they don't have the needle sizes on them, and they've rubbed off of the cord. And even if they had not rubbed off, it's usually hard for me to read the number that's on the cord, because, oh wait, I might be able to read it. US 10. Yeah, it's a 10. So 6 millimeters, so that's a US 10. So these are US 10, And I think the cord that I'm using is 40 inches, and it works perfectly. But this project has really grown to where I can only knit it at home in the evening. And so I'm going to focus on it for the next, I'm hoping this week and next week, and then I should be done with it so that I can send it to the owner, because it's a gift I'm knitting for someone, and so I'm hoping to be finished with it so that it can go to the owner. So that is all that I'm working on right now. And I'm going to leave links to everything, the yarn and all the other details. I'm going to leave them in the description for anyone that is interested to see more about this pattern, because it's not a written pattern, it's my own made up pattern. So leave a comment below and let me know what you're working on. And whatever you're working on, I hope that you're enjoying. If it's crochet, if it's knitting, whatever it is, I hope that you're having a good time. So until next time, happy knitting!